Okay, I think we're live now. Just checking out the live chat. Hey everybody, how's it going? Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. I believe we're live. Yes, we are. Awesome, okay. Well, this is as close to on time as I've ever been. And no issues. This might be a first. Just gonna take a couple more minutes to check some things and then we'll get this going. So, hello, hola, hello. How's everybody doing today? Got a lot of questions. That was pretty awesome. I can see everybody's kind of fired up again. I know it's been a little while since we've really had a ton of stuff to talk about. Maybe it got a little bit stale, but now it seems like it's not a problem anymore. All right. I think I've got everything good to go. Yeah, I got Beerus. Beerus is here. This is Beerus's prototype, so she's chilling with the duckies now. Might have Malik here too, but I didn't have time to check the mail today, so he won't be joining us. Maybe for the next live stream. But alright, let's get this started. Hello everybody, and welcome to episode number 11. Wow, it's 11 episodes in. It just kind of goes really fast. Each one of these represents a month, so that tells you how long this has been going on. But basically, these live streams are just a chance for all of our new viewers. This is a chance for our fan base and just anybody that's curious to come ask questions about Dark Deception, Evil Nun, or any of the games that we currently have in development in general. So, yeah, we take questions through email from subscribers to our YouTube channel. We also collect questions from members from our YouTube member server. And we also accept super chats for anybody who wants to support us. We don't run a Patreon, really. That's kind of what our YouTube member server is. So anybody that really wants to have their question asked or just wants to support us in general can do a super chat. That's all fine. So without further ado, we usually start off with the member questions, and that's not going to change. So let's just get right into it. We got a lot of them this time. So our members' questions kick off with Nico Seal. Question number 1, he's jumping right into the Silent Hill DLC right away, and he asks, how big is the Silent Hill DLC in Monsters and Mortals? The Silent Hill DLC is probably the largest map in Monsters and Mortals now, since we nerfed the size of Stranger Sewers. It's actually probably about, I'd say it's probably equal in size, maybe just a little bit bigger. Not too big. I think that's about as big as Monsters and Mortals maps can get before it's too big and it slows down the gameplay a lot. So I think Stranger Sewers is kind of like the maximum map size for Monsters and Mortals maps that we're going to do. So question number 2 from MMG. How will the overall feeling mood of Dark Deception Chapter 4 be different from that of previous chapters? Well, Chapter 4 gets, it definitely goes more into the psychological side of things than the previous chapters did. It's a lot more story heavy. I can say easily we've got about 15 minutes of cutscenes in that chapter right now. So there's a lot of story. And there will be some dark moments. So it's a little bit more, it's a lot more in depth than the previous chapters, which we're just kind of setting up everything. So question number 3 from Charmer Memer DS. Vince, what do you think about Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach? Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, I don't think I've seen too much of that yet. I did watch the PS5 trailer, and I saw the NVIDIA demo briefly. So I don't think there's too much for me to judge there yet. I think what they have definitely looks kind of early in development. They've got a lot of work to do with it still, but you're already seeing kind of the cool visual effects that the PS5 is capable of in their ray tracing and the reflections and the global illumination and everything that's in the level. I just think they have to kind of really push those environments to have a lot more character than they have currently. So I know they're capable of more, and that project's run by Scott Cawthon, and I think he's demonstrated already that he is dedicated to quality and perfecting his vision. So, I mean, if he was just going to rush things out and all he cared about the money, if all he cared about was the money, we'd already have a Five Nights at Freddy's movie out just from one of the first two scripts. So I'm sure Scott will get it right, and that will be a lot more impressive by the time it's done. So, don't jump too much to the conclusions based on what they've shown so far. That's just how game development goes. Question number 5. Oh, I skipped one. Question number 4 from ACS. Vince, about the Silent Hill crossover in Monsters and Mortals. Will the story be based on the movies or the video games? So, we are not based on the movie. That was not part of our license. So our license is entirely encompassing the Silent Hill games. So what's kind of cool about our DLC is that it's kind of pays tribute to all of the Silent Hill games. Most of them. Not all of them. There's a lot. But easily the most popular ones like Silent Hill 1, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3. We'll have some references to 4, and it's got a couple references to Homecoming. So I think, well, maybe not 4. Homecoming, yes. So I think we've covered most of Silent Hill to kind of give fans of all the games a little bit of something from the DLC. Question number 5 from Jason. How did the Konami partnership come to be? Well, I mean, the Konami partnership exists because of you guys. Without Dark Deception and the popularity and support that has received, Konami would never have talked to me. So, because Dark Deception has a large fan base and it's done well, and it's had a lot of support, and it's because of that the game became popular in Japan and across other parts of the world, to the point where Konami knew what it was when I talked to them about it. So they were already aware of Dark Deception. That in itself was a great honor, but it really speaks volumes about our fan base and the power that you guys have. I don't open doors, you guys do. Without your help, I can't open anything. I mean, I can make great work, but if it's not popular or if it's not getting support, they're not going to care about it. There's a lot of stuff that looks great. So yeah, everyone here watching, go ahead and pat yourself on the back. This Konami partnership is all thanks to you guys. So thank you very much from myself and the rest of our team. Now we just got to do something really amazing with it. Question number 6 from Chunk. Does the new Matron still have her hoverboard, or is she wearing roller skates now? The Matron still has her hoverboard. So I don't know if you could see in the little image. I kind of cropped it a bit just because I didn't want to fully zoom out. It loses a lot of the details. But you can see one of her wheels still in the bottom left corner. We've just kind of changed up her look to match more with the look of the level and the Reaper nurses, so that she's, she has kind of the same uniform on, but a little bit different since she's the matron. Question number 7 from Spell. Is Take Your Medicine the chase music used by the 2 zones in Tormund Therapy? Yeah. Yep, that is the panic chase music in the zones for the Tormund Therapy. Question number 8 from Smackin' Pie. Evil Nun Broken Mask. For Evil Nun Broken Mask, are you going to change the story for this game? And if so, will it be canon to Evil Nun universe? So, I'm not actually doing anything with the Evil Nun story. That was completely done by the Complarians team, along with the initial design. Actually, I mean, all of the design is done by Complarians team, and it's pretty faithful to the mobile version of the game. The key difference is that they've removed some areas that were in the mobile game and replaced it with completely new areas that are much larger. So they've kind of fully realized I guess, what Evil Nun was intended to be. Maybe that mobile couldn't handle it previously, but they've fleshed out a lot of areas and added on a lot of things. And to do that, they had to remove a couple areas I guess weren't as important. But they've addressed some things that the mobile game didn't address, like the yellow door is a popular question we get, and that has been addressed in Evil Nun: The Broken Mask. So hopefully that can satisfy Evil Nun fans. We'll see. But yeah, Keplarians is fully behind the design and the story and everything. So from what we've seen, it's pretty awesome. Our side of things is just to make it run, look, and play amazing. So yeah, it's a really cool collaboration, and I'm sure people will really enjoy it once it's done. It's looking amazing so far. So we're pretty proud of it. Question number 9 from Warlocky. Will Mama Bear be a threat in every zone? I mean, she's a threat in the entire level. I'll just leave it at that. The rest you'll see once you get to that level and once the game's out. Question number 10 from Abram Guy. You said a while ago that Chapter 5 will have more levels. So does that mean the levels go up to 12? If so, does that mean level 12 is the secret level you get from getting all S ranks? I did say, and this is no secret, that to anyone that gets all S ranks will see an additional level that players that don't get S ranks won't see. It's also the only way to get the true ending. So, yes, there will be an extra level. I'm not going to peg the number at 12 for Chapter 5. We haven't even gotten Chapter 4 out yet, so I'm not going to go into Chapter 5. But, yeah, it does have more levels than Chapter 4. It's not quite as big as Chapter 4, but it's getting there, and I suspect it may get bigger. We'll see. I don't want to jump on anything with Chapter 5 yet, just because I don't want to set expectations that get changed later. So we'll get to that. Let's get Chapter 4 out first. Question number 11 from Officially Imp. When the new DLC comes out for Monsters and Mortals, will you also put new modes to go with the update as well? Yes, in fact, we already have a new mode in the works. I can't say if it's going to go out before Silent Hill or with Silent Hill or after Silent Hill. Right now, if I had to place money, I'd put it on either probably after Silent Hill, just because we want to focus on the Silent Hill DLC until that's out. We don't want any distractions from anything else, because we want to make that the best DLC in the game, hands down, for a while. We try to make every DLC the best DLC in the game, so that's our intention right now. We're just going to focus on the DLC. But we do have other game modes in development. I've been working on those for a little while now, just because, we need a little bit more Monsters versus Mortals. That is the title of the game, right? So I definitely want to add some more Monsters versus Mortals modes to kind of round things out. So we're going to have those in fairly soon. Let's see. Whoops, somebody's racing outside. Got some traffic going. Let me see. Question number 11. No, we just did that one. Question 12 from Lysander. Will the shards in Chapter 4 be more spread out like in Chapter 3, or will they be tied together like in Chapters 1 to 2? For that, I would just say a little bit of both. It's not like one thing consistently through the entire chapter. It's kind of like mixes up a little bit depending on the level. Question number 13 from Verusa G. For Chapter 4, is there going to be a lot of particle effects? Yes. Probably, yeah. Question number 14 from XPlexMex. Will there be more zones in Chapter 4 that have multiple levels like Crazy Carnival and Monster Madness? I think we had a question like this last live stream, and I referred to Monstrum as an example, and I said, yeah, we're going to have more. Chapter 4 does have kind of the tiered map structure where there are multiple floors. So yeah, that's definitely going to be present. That will be an element in Chapter 4 gameplay. I'm not going to point out to which levels have that. That's just something you'll see as you play through, or you watch your YouTuber play through it, whichever one you're going with. I hope you're playing through it yourself. That's always my preference, but if you're watching, then yeah, you'll see which one it is. Question number 15 from Clayman. Will we see the entire Joy Joy Gang endoskeletons And will Joykill and Mannequins have an ability? So I'll start with the latter first. Yes, Joykill and Mannequins have their ability. All enemies have abilities, and bosses usually have multiple. Um, as for the Joy Joy Gang endoskeletons, I mean, we've already shown them partially. I won't say to what degree you'll see them, but obviously, yes, you'll see them. Question number 16 from Aesthetic Chicken. Oh, well, this is a simple one. How has your day been? Ah, today has been interesting. I think with the announcement of the Silent Hill news, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind. Um, kind of reading the feedback from Silent Hill fans and from our fan base, and I think it's exactly kind of what I was expecting, which is fun. I mean, that presents me with a challenge. Is that, of course, Silent Hill fans um, obviously prefer a real Silent Hill game. I mean, as a Silent Hill fan myself, that's exactly what I prefer as well. So I'm hoping that this will become something that tides them over as they wait for the next great Silent Hill game, as we all wait for that. And this will kind of dull the pain a little bit of that long wait. As our fan base can definitely relate, it's tough waiting on a game that you're excited about. And I saw a lot of similar comments from their fan base that I've seen from our fan base. So it's very relatable. Question number 17 from Lakos. What kind of school did you where oh okay. What kind of school did you study at? Myself, I think I might have had a question like this before, but just in case I'm remembering wrong, I'll go into it again. So I went to an art college. I mean, I started off as an artist, and I worked at EA as my first job. So I went to art school for animation first, and then I went for animation effects and modeling. I did not go to school for game design. But I've always helped out with game design and writing and things of that, so it just kind of built over over the years as I worked at different companies. So yeah, I went to a university in San Francisco that's called Academy of Art University. I know a lot of people have gone there. I don't know if I'd recommend going there. I think there's better schools to go to, but yeah, that's where I went, and that's where Penn went in as well, which is how we kind of met. We were classmates. Question number 18 from Agatha. What inspired the Trigger Teddies and Mama Bear? So, I swear we've had this question before. Maybe not. Well, Mama Bear, yeah, we've had this, but I'll kind of go into it again just because we have a lot of new people. So, Mama Bear was inspired by Penny the Panda, which was a failed, well, not failed, but canceled Joy Joy Gang member. So, Penny the Chicken was originally supposed to be uh, Penny the Panda, and it didn't seem like a fit after we did Lucky. I designed Lucky the Rabbit and Hangry the Pig, which are kind of common animals. And I wanted to kind of keep the group kind of similar as to what animals they were, so I made Penny the Chicken instead. So Penny the Panda got canceled, but I really kind of liked her design. Even if I didn't want her to be a panda, I felt the bear idea was kind of cool. And obviously, like, I had a couple levels left that I hadn't kind of filled yet, so I wanted to do something with a bear. And I didn't want it to be like, Freddy Fazbear with a pizzeria and everything. I wanted to do something very different from that so that it wouldn't be, compared to that. But just by being a bear, I knew that would be inevitable. So Mama Bear was born from that after doing a lot of concepts of her. And then if she's a mama bear, she's got to have kids, right? So that's kind of what led to the design of the Trigger Teddies. Just doing some research, finding some really creepy looking teddy bear reference, and it was kind of born from that. So I hope that answers that question. Question number 19 from Tudor7. Was it fun to make monsters in Mortals, or was it rather frustrating and hard designing this multiplayer game? Did you guys even have time to rest from all these projects? I'll go with the latter question first. So, no, we didn't have time to rest. We did have, like the basic time to rest. We sleep. I know I get a lot of the hashtag sleep for Vince. I don't get a lot of sleep, but I do sleep. And we did take a couple breaks between chapters 2 and 3. So usually I think after chapter 3, we all took kind of like a 2-3 week break just to kind of refresh ourselves. Me, Penn, and Nixon all took a break. So Penn and I, we went out to Thailand for a vacation because we're in Asia right now, and then Nixon went on his own family trip. So yeah, we're not that group that crunches all the time. That would kill us. And as for making Monsters Immortals, it was frustrating because this was our first attempt at a multiplayer game. I've worked on multiplayer games in the past within other companies. So I worked at Zynga, which did those really terrible Facebook games. Um, they're terrible because they didn't put a lot of effort into them, but they were really addicting and fun at the time. Like they were kind of like I don't know how to compare them to, but if you've ever played Cookie Clicker, you keep playing it, but you don't know why. It's like a psychological vulnerability. So I think that's kind of what that company was initially. Now they're a lot better. I saw some of the recent stuff. They're making pretty cool mobile games now. But when I was working there, they were not doing that. So that was the limit of my experience with multiplayer games when we started Monsters and Mortals. So it was kind of like jumping into the deep end without knowing how to swim for me and Nixon. But I think we've done a decent job with it. It obviously has some issues that we need to fix as we go on, but Monsters and Mortals is exactly that. It's a work in progress that we're going to constantly update and improve. So if you play it and if you buy it and you get into it, just know that we're always improving it. When you buy it, that is not like the final game, and that's just how it's going to stay. We're going to keep adding characters to it. We're going to keep adding modes and play and maps, and we're going to keep bug fixing. And as we get a bigger player base, we'll do something about. Right now, it's a peer-to-peer game, but if it grows big enough, we may be able to justify servers. So we'll see if the Silent Hill DLC and some of these other ones that we have that are coming will kind of get us there. All right, so question number 20 from Itzaitsun. Can we expect Hangry Plushie to come out this year? Yeah, Hangry Plushie will come out this year in 2021. It's going to be coming from Makeshift, just like all of our plushies. You can see these guys back here. Beerus is next. Whoops, over here. Beerus is next. So we've got a really cool plan. I mean, besides the games, we've got some really cool merchandise stuff coming too for our fan base. And plushies, this is the first thing. So we've got a great partner with Makeshift. And we've already got a lineup for the entirety of 2021. So that this whole year is pretty much covered, and we're going to be releasing 12 plushies. Question number 21 from Thimscope. What kind of games did you grow up with? I grew up with mostly, I'd say, Super Nintendo and PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. Those were kind of like the meat of my younger years. So I grew up with a lot of horror games and, of course, Nintendo games. I mean, I played pretty much all games, but, I had the Sega Dreamcast and all of that. So I was like a 90s kid. So I grew up on all the 90s games and early 2000 games. I've been gaming since then, but those were the ones that were in my childhood. But I played everything. I can't say, like, there was anything particular that defined my childhood gaming, but I think as a designer, it's important to play everything and not just latch yourself onto one genre. So I played fighting games, shooters, even bullet hell games, sim games. I'll play anything as long as it's fun. Bonnie Bunny 56. How excited are you for collaborating with other horror developers in Monsters and Mortals? I'm very excited. So I think we've got some really awesome collaborations going. Besides the ones that have been announced, Monstrum and Silent Hill. We actually have another secret collaboration that maybe get announced in the next 2 months. I'm not sure. Again, it takes a while when you're going through lawyers. And we've actually had, just since the Silent Hill announcement, a lot of interesting opportunities pop up. And I'll touch back on that later in this video. Let's see what else we have here. Question number 23 from Kelly Newby. You guys, you Pen and Nixon, did you have fun recording your dying screams for your own characters in Monsters and Mortals? Um, okay, so yeah, I've got my shirt on today. If anyone didn't see that, I'm sure it's visible. So for Glowstick Vince and Pen and Nixon's character, that was interesting because we're in an apartment complex. You know, we don't have a recording studio here. And we basically had to wait until like the dead of night so that there was no noise and nobody awake. And then we were just doing the death screams, trying to get them done as fast as we could before we piss one of our neighbors off or scare somebody. So I think that was like the worst part of recording our voice lines was the death screams because we had to do a bunch of takes in case they sucked and we deleted them. Usually we'll do about 5 to 8 takes. And also that's a little bit hard on your vocal cords. So yeah, that was interesting. Question 24 from Artemy. What do you prefer, casual games or games with big lore and hard difficulty? I enjoy both, honestly. I mean, obviously, I love games with big lore and a challenge. I usually will play all of my games on the hardest difficulty because I'm a bit of a trophy um, addict on PlayStation Network, and I always want to get, you know, the platinum, so I'll usually set it to the hardest difficulty so I can get those gold trophies, especially in first-person shooters and stuff, in horror games. So I really get into that, and I love those deep RPGs like Witcher and Persona games, those really long RPGs. It's just now I don't really have time for those kind of games anymore, now that I'm actually making games and working all the time. Back when I was in college, I used to love playing that stuff. I still make time for it. I'll still get into some games and slowly sink time into it, like an hour a day or something. I think one of those was even on Switch. It was the Three Houses with Fire Emblem. I got into that for a while. But I enjoy casual game too. I mean, with my schedule, it's fun to just pick up your phone and play a casual game, or get into something a little bit more casual. Like I started playing Sally Face finally, and that's definitely more casual. It's just a, you know, like a point and click adventure game that I can put down at any time. I can pick it up for a few minutes and progress a little bit. So, you know, they both have value. Question number 25 from Good Smile. Will we get another Dark Deception teaser trailer or not? I guess he's talking about Chapter 4. A lot of people have asked me that since I numbered it 1. So yes, there is going to be another teaser trailer. And probably there's going to be just one more teaser trailer and then the full trailer. And a lot of people have asked me if that second teaser trailer is going to show the hospital. Probably not. I know a lot of people want to see the hospital just because I haven't shown anything from it, but that's intentional. So probably the second teaser trailer will show you a little bit of something else, but I can't promise what it's going to be. And it will be just as short as the first one, because that's what a teaser trailer is. It doesn't show much. It just gives you a glimpse. I think I get a lot of people that are confused about that. And they're like, man, this trailer sucks. It's only 20 seconds long. I'm like, that's what a teaser trailer is. It's just a glimpse. Just a small peek. And the full trailer will show a lot more. Question number 26 from Reaper of Darkness. Vince, have you enjoyed working with the Silent Hill team? Yeah, Konami is really cool. They've been very easy to work with and very cooperative with us. I think the process has been very good experience for us so far. So I'm actually looking forward to wrapping this up with them and continuing to work with them until the DLC is done. So that's it for our member questions. Now I'm going to take a look at our super chats. Let me open those up real quick. I think we have some super chats. And we do. Okay, they changed the look of this. All right, so we got a super chat from Jack in the Box, or Box in the Jack. He threw in 279 Canadian. Thank you, Box. How does Doug never get tired from always running? It's because we disabled his stamina. I played The Evil Within, and that was like the worst part of the game, is that he's always getting tired. I mean, it's hard enough fighting the monsters, but when your run is killing you more, your stamina is killing you faster than the enemies are. I don't know. I was just never a fan of games with stamina, even though that could be more realistic. I think that's just a little bit too realistic for me as a designer. I'd rather keep the players focused on the challenge of the enemies themselves than their body, because we're not an RPG. We can't upgrade ourselves in this game, so I'm not going to punish them. And really, I mean, well, I'm not going to explain that. It'll make more sense after Chapter 4. Explaining it would be a bit of a spoiler. We've got £5 from Scruffy Cat. Thank you, Scruffy. What do you think, or what do the Joy Joy gang think of those who aren't joyful? Well, anybody that enters Joy Joy Land that's not joyful will become one of the joyful very soon. That's kind of what the Joy Joy gang does, is bring joy to those in Joy Joy Land. So you won't be joyless for long. Let's put it that way. We got 100 rubles from Larian von Zilbertstein. Thank you. Hey, Vince. I know that's kind of strange question, but what is your height? Uh, I think I've said that before, but I'd say I'm Markiplier sized. I don't know what height Markiplier is, but I think we're both like about 5'7", something like that. I'm guessing. I really don't know. I met him once in public near my house, and I thought we were about the same height. I'm guessing. I didn't really bust out, like the measuring tape. From Sugar Pie threw in $5. Thank you, Sugar Pie. Actually, when will we get more teasers, trailers for Chapter 4? I'd say leading up to Chapter 4's release. I'm not going to give a timeline or an estimation. It'll just be prior. It could be a week prior. It could be 2 weeks prior. It's very up in the air at this point. And we have another donation from Sugar Pie. Same amount. Thank you very much for double donating. I don't know if that's a mistake, but if it's not, thank you. Do you know what specific time Chapter 4 will be released? Like 7 a.m., 12 p.m.? No. You're getting down to like a specific time now. I don't even have a day. We've named the 12th, but I said that I'm just going to leave it as March because I don't want another like death squad forming because we were 1 day late. So I'm definitely not going to name a time. That usually is up to Valve. Valve usually names our release time. I think typically we go for morning time slots, but of course, there's time zones. So I think it'll be a morning time slot for the US. But it may be a afternoon or evening time slot. We'll see. Let me see. What else we got? Doris Henderson threw in 50 rubles. Hi, Vince. Well, thank you for the donation, Doris. I appreciate it. And Sylvia K threw in 2. Canadian. Thank you, Sylvia. What's left to work on in Chapter 5? Well, Chapter 5 is still in progress, so there's still a considerable amount to work on. That one is not going to be done anytime soon. But, yeah, 2021. That's all I can say at this point. EG Gaming 190. Threw in 10. Wow, thank you, EG. In Zone 1 of Mascot Mayhem, will there be a lot of fog, so it will be hard for the player to see the enemies? And will Zone 1 be quiet and no music, just like Decadent Zone 1? Well, I can't specify about the sound of music at this point, but if you've seen the trailer, I won't say what zone that is, but yeah, there is fog in Joy Joy Land. So it may be hard to see the enemies sneaking up on you. The visibility will be a factor. We got £2 from Rooney Nico. Thank you, Rooney Nico. And he asks, how is Dan? Oh, thanks for asking. Dan is doing really good. Him and his family are all recovering. Dan's got 2 kids who are very young. They were all infected. So I was a bit worried for him and his family since they all caught the virus. But it seems like they're all bouncing back and doing well. So just to help him get his strength back, we sent him like a big box of cookies in LA, and he's been munching on those to recover his weight that he lost. So He's back to doing music, and he's been busting out Silent Hill music, which is awesome. And we'll be sharing those pretty soon. Got $1.99 from Laylan. Sorry, I'm gonna struggle to pronounce this. Layla Ni Param. And it's just a donation, so thank you very much. UBF 13 threw in 5. In the first teaser of BB, was that zone the cabin zone or a mine shaft? I would just say it's a barely buried zone. I can't specify which one because I don't want to ruin that. But yeah, you'll see when you get to it. RFM Gaming threw in 2. Will you ever add Little Nightmares as a guest DLC to Monsters and Immortals? I hope. I mean, I can't really speak for the Little Nightmares team, and they've got a really awesome, huge game coming out soon in a couple weeks. So if you need something to tide you over to Chapter 4, Little Nightmares 2. I'm going to be getting into that myself when I have some free time at night. So yeah, of course, I would love to get Little Nightmares into Monsters and Mortals if that ever works out. I guess that really depends on how well we do with Silent Hill. I think if we do a good job with Silent Hill and it sells well, then everything's a possibility. We'll see. I wouldn't know which one to do though. Silent Hill or Little Nightmares 1 or 2 now. There's 2 games. So maybe they'd let us do both. That'd be pretty awesome if we could use characters from 1 and 2, have like the teacher and also the janitor. Have to figure out how to fit them into the level though, since they've got some interesting appendages. We'll see. Let's see what the next one is. Rooney Nico threw in another £2. Wow, that's multiple contributions from Rooney Nico. Thank you very much. And he asks, what is going to happen to the paid Discord? The paid Discord is not going anywhere. So that's our YouTube member server that comes with the Shard Master level membership. And it's kind of like our official Glowstick Entertainment VIP server now. So there's multiple ways to get into that server. You can either use YouTube membership, which comes with other perks connected to YouTube, like being able to do the live chat on our live streams, and some like being able to have early access to our videos, the emojis and certain things. Or you can just do, we have like an annual PayPal kind of prepaid membership where you just get access to the server. But we're also going to set up a new server at some point in February that's going to be free for everybody. And that's going to be the official kind of free Glowstick Entertainment server that's going to have discussion channels for all of our games. Except for, I mean, it'll have a small channel for Monsters and Mortals, but we're still going to have a dedicated server for that because it's multiplayer. And there's a lot of features that are kind of catering to that community that we need to keep separate. So, yeah, we're going to have 2 servers. We're going to have the VIP paid server, and we're going to have the official free server. Those are the 2 Glowstick Entertainment servers. And then, of course, we'll have the Monsters and Mortals server, which is just for the Monsters and Mortals community and focuses purely on that. So that's kind of where people can go if they want to do matches and match up with other players. And that's very important for as long as we're doing P2P and not servers. We got £5 from Victor the Demon Devil. Is the Reaper Nurse plush next? No, it's not next. Actually, coming up next is Beerus and Malik. So we're going to sell Beerus and Malik through Makeship as a pair. And from what I've been told, that's going to be happening in early February. So very soon we're going to have that campaign ready to go. I mean, keep pointing to the wrong side here. You can see Beerus is already here. I think Malik might be here too. So once I sign off on him, they're going to put the campaign up. And they will be sold as a pair. But you can also buy them individually, so you don't have to buy them both. You can buy them individually at the normal price, but if you buy them together, then you will get, I believe, it's like a percentage discount or a set flat rate of $5 off. I forget exactly what it is. I'll have to talk to Makeship again, but there will be a discount for buying them together. And I believe Makeship has a lot of other cool things coming for anyone that buys our plushies, because we're going to do kind of a subscription. I wouldn't call it a subscription, but kind of like a plushie purchase plan. So we're going to release 12 plushies over the course of the year. Beerus and Malik are the first two. Since we're heading into February, 2 months have already passed. We're basically going to do one plushie per month, and it's going to cover all the Dark Deception characters. So it's going to go... I mean, I've already posted up a poster that kind of showed all the characters, but the first three are going to be Beerus, Malik, and the Reaper Nurse. And as with everything, they're only sold once. So once they're gone forever. We'll never make these plushies again. So that'll be it. So Beerus and Malik will be up first, and I believe when you purchase them, they will come with, if you sign up for the email, I mean, there'll be more details for this out soon, but from what I've discussed with them kind of briefly, it was about, there's going to be an email list that you can sign up for, and they will send you discount codes for the future plushies that are coming. So when they launch their campaigns, you'll be able to use those coupons to get a discount on the plushie purchase. And that's the only way to get that. So they're not going to do the 24-hour discount codes anymore. It'll just be sign up for the email list. They'll email you the discount code before the campaign happens. And then if you buy the plushie, it would also come with some extra stuff. Like they were talking about doing a Dark Deception coloring book or art or something like that. That will also come with the purchase, and you'll get those immediately because they'll be emailed to you. So they have some cool stuff in mind that I think fans will like. And I don't have all the details yet, but I think that's something we're going to kind of announce to everybody soon. We got $5 from Luigi. Thank you, Luigi. So you play Monsters and Mortals. Name every monster in Mortal. Yeah, I play Monsters and Mortals. We're making it. So, I mean, I'm not going to name all the ones that are coming, but let's just say eventually that menu select, the character select screen, all those little empty boxes are going to be full. If things keep going this way, we've already got a lineup that's going to fill that thing. But right now, I mean, I think my favorite character to play as, surprisingly, it's not myself. That would be kind of narcissistic, wouldn't it? It's like, oh yeah, I love playing as myself. I love playing as the Dread Ducky, and I love playing as Beerus, and now I like Prisoner Borisov because it is his ultimate. Just for me, the way I play, that's pretty useful. Some people love Pen Pen. I like Pen Pen too. I'm still getting kind of used to speed types. But yeah, a lot of cool characters. There's going to be a lot more soon. Tyler Dash through and two. Which Mind Your Manners track is your favorite? In-game or the, I guess he means the normal or the chase one. So there's two versions of Mind Your Manners. Well, there's the Golden Rule, and then there's Mind Your Manners. Oh, I'm sorry. He's asking, I misread his question. So there's two versions of Mind Your Manners, in-game or the OST. So the OST, the one you get when you buy the soundtrack, has a little bit of a different setup than the one that's in-game because it's not set up for looping. It's set up for the way an actual track would go, where it kind of fades in and fades out. It has a beginning and end. The one in the game just has a cutoff point where it loops. So that's kind of the difference between all the in-game tracks and the ones that we put on YouTube and on the soundtrack, is that they're set up to have a beginning and end, whereas the ones in-game just loop. I think I like the one on the soundtrack better just because it's more like a normal track. Whereas if it's the one that's in-game, I just want to keep looping it. Let's see. We have €5 from Emily. Thank you, Emily. And I think that's just a donation. She didn't put a message, so thank you very much. Judah Nator threw in $5. Thank you, Judah. And he asked two things. One, around what time are the Malik and Beerus plusies coming out? Just answered that. February. And two, are you planning on adding a CSGO style spectating mode in Monsters Immortals? That's an interesting question. That's something we could look into. I'm not sure how we could implement that at the moment, but I know there's been a lot of games that have kind of a spectator mode for people that just want to watch and be inside the game. We'd have to see if that's something we could support and not kill the performance for the people playing, like the frame rate. I've seen that Valve has pulled that off with Dota, so we'd have to look into it. But at this point, I don't have an answer for that. $5 from Chris Domingo. Thank you very much for that donation. Hey Vince, does chapters 4 and 5 get harder? If so, why? Yeah, they get harder because the levels are larger and more complex, and the enemy difficulty is ramped up a lot. Some people think the monkeys and the Gold Watcher are extremely hard. Uh, I don't know about the monkeys, but of course I agree with the Gold Watcher, and we've rebalanced him, or I've rebalanced him out for when we updated after Chapter 4's release. So I think the Gold Watchers are still going to be very challenging. They're still going to be hard. They're just going to be hard in a fair way. It's not going to be like legendary difficulty anymore. Um, yeah, if you die, it'll be your own fault. Victor the Demon Devil threw in another £5. When is Beer's plush coming? I just want to know so I don't miss it. As I mentioned, I know you don't know what's being asked, so I'll just say it again. It's coming in February. I don't know the exact date, but I believe it's going to be beginning of February. So probably, I'm betting first week. It seems like Makeshift wants to kick it off pretty soon. So it may even be in the next 2 days. I don't know. It could be that fast. And these campaigns run for about 25 days. So once that goes live, you have 25 days to get the plush, and then it's gone forever. I think at first a lot of people didn't believe me on that, but that's not my call. That's how Makeshift runs their business. So to keep the plushies really special and unique, they don't make them anymore. Even if the fans, we get a lot of demand. I know the Duckies had a ton of demand. You know, we could probably sell another 2,000 of the Duckies if Makeshift started selling it again. But they won't. It's not about the money. It's about keeping each item special and unique and rare and collectible. And that has a lot more long-term value for them than just continually selling the same thing and having a lot of inventory. It's actually a smarter way for them to run their business too. So I'm on board with it. I think it's really cool. It makes all of these plushies really collectible and unique. And you know, as Dark Deception becomes more popular, it'll be a more sought-after item. So yeah, if you have a chance and you want it, I absolutely get it because that's your only window to ever get it. Even if we do another Ducky or another Lucky, it's going to look different and it'll be a different version. It won't be this one. So same thing for Beerus and Malik and all the others. Question from, or another donation from Rooney Nico. I think that's like 5 now. Thank you, Rooney. It's another £2. Will there ever be any more AAA games in Monsters Immortals? Yes. In fact, we already have, well, a couple more signed. That's what I was talking about. We have some other big ones that we haven't revealed yet. I have to keep them a secret, just like I did with Silent Hill. I kept that secret for almost 10 months. So I can do it for these too. And if Silent Hill does well, we'll hopefully have a lot more. I mean, we'll see. Caleb Evans threw in $2. Thank you, Caleb. Will we see more of the Joy Joy Gang after Chapter 4? That I can't say. Well, remains to be seen. I think after Chapter 4 you'll have a good idea whether you're going to see them again or not. Chunk Plunk threw in £5. Thank you, Chunk. Asking this for a friend. Will Matron still have her giant syringe? No, Matron does not have a giant syringe. I'm not going to tell you what her weapon is, but it is not a syringe. Hyper Orange threw in $1.99. Will the barely buried boss have a voice? Yes, that boss will have a voice. And also thank you for the $1.99. Tyler S. Dash, thank you for $2. And that's multiple contributions from you. Hey Vince, love your You'll See shirt. Well, thank you. It took me a very long time to get this shirt. I saw a lot of the fans had it almost immediately after ordering it, but for some reason mine got lost. I guess I live in Asia, so it's a little harder to get things out here. So they shipped it out, it got lost in the mail, and I had to wait for them to ship it again. So it took me 2 months to get this shirt. Finally have it, so it's kind of cool to be able to wear it finally. EG Gaming 190 threw in $1.99. Thank you, EG. Will there be more traps just like the clown cart? Yes, we have some interesting traps coming up for both Chapter 4 and 5 and Monsters Immortals. So if you like traps, we've got some very different ones coming. Indie Universe threw in a £2. Thank you, Indie. Are you thinking of any other crossovers? I'm always thinking about crossovers. I think anybody that's followed me for a while knows that I am always looking at what crossovers we could do that are kind of realistic in what our fans want. So, I mean, I want to give the fans stuff that's fun, that we all want to see. And that's why I go after stuff like Silent Hill and Monstrum and some of the ones like Evil Nun and that we've talked to, Coma. You know, I'll go after some stuff that I think fans will like that they necessarily aren't paying attention to right now. Stuff like the Coma in Monstrum wasn't exactly like demanded by our fan base, but I thought they had a lot of value to the horror community, and I wanted to share that with them. There's some things I think that are underrated horror games that deserve a lot more attention, and I will try to seek those out as well. So it's not going to always just be like the big AAA games or the massive indie games. You know, those all already get tons of attention and have massive fans, and you know that's kind of like the easy win, I think, to just include those because they're popular and they'll make a lot of money. But I think a lot of the underrated horror games like smaller stuff that maybe not as many people know about add a lot of unique and interesting characteristics or character to the game as well. And I think with more exposure, those games will be equally popular. So I really enjoy getting some of the small gems in as well. Nate the Gamer Boy threw in $1.99. Thank you, Nate. Will Lucky call Hangry fat? Um, Actually, he insults Hangry and Penny, so you know, Lucky's not a nice guy. He's not very politically correct. I guess we'll say it that way. He's not very sensitive to other people's feelings. Hyper Orange threw in $1.99. When will the Dark Deception Discord server open? That I don't know. He's talking about the free official Glowstick Entertainment server that's going to be in Discord. I'm targeting February. I'd like to get it up before the Silent Hill DLC goes out. So probably I'm thinking probably in the first week of February. What it's really waiting on is that I'm trying to hand off these community management duties. So I've been managing all of our social media for a while. For the last 2 years, it's been literally just me handling all of social media, which becomes a bit of a burden for me, especially when I'm trying to work on, I'm putting in a lot of work on these games to have to manage the social media as well. So I'm trying to hand off those duties right now to an actual community manager. And when we open the official Glowstick Entertainment server on Discord, that will be completely managed by our community manager. So I will not be involved with it other to give him in my input and help with the mods. But I'll mostly be involved in the VIP server because it's much smaller. I can manage that better. And those are kind of our Patreon supporters. So I want to be there to give them a little bit of my time since they're supporting us with their hard-earned money. Because I don't have a lot of time these days. So I may not be able to engage as much on Twitter and Instagram. I'll still be very involved with, one, the VIP server, and two, YouTube, because I basically run the YouTube channel. So I will be involved with creating the content and posting there for our members and non-members and normal subscribers. So I think I'd like to focus on YouTube because I enjoy creating videos, and I think it's a lot of fun working with the channel. And also, I'll be involved with the member server because I want to support those who are supporting us a lot that way, kind of like our Patreon. I have obligations to it. Let me see. Chris Domingo threw in 2. Thanks for reading my comment. I'm a big fan. Well, thanks for donating. We appreciate your support. Emily threw in another €5. Thank you, Emily. That's 2 donations. I appreciate it. Very excited for the Silent Hill DLC in Chapter 4. Keep it up, guys. Well, we're doing our best, and hopefully everything will turn out great and be worth the wait. Just thank everybody for their patience. Aiden Moore threw in $2. Why was Lucky the second plush? By the way, I got mine. Well, it's awesome. Thank you for buying one of those and being one of the proud owners of our Lucky plush. I think there's only like 630 of them or something in the world. I have to look at his tag again. Well, oh, this was the prototype. I got a bunch of them now that are actually purchased from the campaign. I forget the exact number. It was like 621 or 630. But yeah, the Lucky plushie was second because we just went with the Ducky first. He was basically the most popular character at the time, so we wanted to roll him out first. And also, we were still kind of deciding on the Lucky design, so he wasn't really ready to go out right away. PLN 10 from Spooky. Thank you very much for your contribution. When will the Crazy Carnival map be added for Monsters and Mortals? So what I've said for Crazy Carnival and also the Chapter 4 content is that obviously our focus is on getting this Silent Hill DLC out now that I can actually share what that is. We've been working on that for the past month, January. And obviously we have to get Chapter 4 out. So probably after those go out. So I would say probably sometime after March, maybe April or May, but we also have Evil Nun going, and we have that coming out in Q2, which is between April, May, June, April and June. It's going to release. So we have those as kind of our high priority items, and then kind of in between, we want to get the Chapter 4 content into Monsters and Mortals, and then get the Crazy Carnival map in as well. But those do take time to develop, so we'll kind of take it as we go and see what there's time for, but we'll definitely get something in to keep updating the base game. And eventually they will all get in. It's just, we may find pockets of time to update it, and it's not going to be immediate. Dark House CX threw in $5. Thank you. When is COVID-19 going to be in Monsters and Mortals? I think a while ago I put up, I think at the beginning of the pandemic, I posted on Instagram that I was going to make a COVID-19 monster. And put it into, I'm not sure if it was Monsters and Mortals at that time, or if I was referencing Dark Deception, like I was going to create a Dark Deception level with a coronavirus map and the coronavirus and just give it out for free or something like that. Yeah, I mean, at some point, maybe we could add the coronavirus to Monsters and Mortals as like a base game character, but or it could be a charity thing. I think actually maybe that would be kind of cool. Like if we made a coronavirus map. I'm not sure what that'd be. Maybe that's not very sensitive though, given the number of deaths to coronavirus. But I think if we made a level, no, I think that could be good. That could do good. If we create a coronavirus level and a character and add it, but it's sold, and all the money, like 100% of that money, goes to a charity related to fighting COVID, that might do some good. I don't know. Obviously, that requires a little bit of planning and research, but maybe that would be a good thing. I don't know. I may run a poll on that at some point and see what you guys think. No idea what that level would be. Somebody in here said, I saw somebody put COVID Chaos, RFM Gaming. That's kind of good. That sounds like an appropriate title. Hyper Orange threw in $1.99. Will there be plushies of the bosses? We've talked about it. I was discussing making a Joykill plushie with Makeshift. We're kind of figuring out if that's possible to do, because Joykill's very complex. We're not sure if that can be put into plushie form, but if it can, we may have a Joykill plushie at some point. Dark House ZX threw in another 2, and he said, I legitimately want to know. I'm not joking. Well, we will take a serious stab at it and see what the fans want, what they're willing to support. Oops, 1 second. YouTube did its thing, where it skips and leaves my previous place behind. Okay, find my place again. Okay, Jack O'Trap Studios, $5. Thank you, Jack. You told Smack and Pie that there will soon be a Dark Deception coloring book. Is it still in its early stages? That's something we're working out with Makeshift, and that was one of the potential bonuses for people that purchase the plushies. They haven't explicitly outlined exactly what these bonus things are going to be, so I don't want to like rattle off promises that are incorrect, but we will confirm that very soon. But one of the things they did mention to me was the coloring books. As for selling it separately, I'm not sure if they still want to do that. We'll see. I haven't really. I guess that on their side, they are a business. They have to check out how well those things are selling. And I think the only example right now is Five Nights at Freddy's has a coloring book. I don't know how well that's selling. So, I mean, it's all about fan demand. If fans want it, they'll make it. But if fans don't want it, then it won't get done, no matter how much some members might like to see it exist. It has to sell to exist. Unicat Ninjas threw in 20. Wow, thank you, Unicat. It's your girl, Unicat Ninjas. You've definitely seen me around. I wanted to say that DD was the final push to pursue D3 animation as one of two majors. Also might post my luck runs out choreo soon for a get well to Dombrowski. Well, I think he would love to see that, so if you put it together, just shoot me a link on Twitter or something, and I will pass it along to him and let you know what he thinks. But thank you for the donation. That's very generous. And yeah, good job pursuing 3D animation. We definitely need more good animators out there. It's very hard to find good animators, and I can't do everything myself. So yeah, keep up the good work on both sides, and good luck with that. Joe Young threw in $1.99. Thank you, Joe Young. Any new non-horror games in the future? Probably not. I think we are, I mean, I don't think we know. Glowstick Entertainment is completely dedicated to horror games. That's what we do. That's what we love. So everything we make will always be a horror game of some kind. Now, we're definitely going to mix it up and do different types of horror games. You know, Dark Deception is definitely in its own subset of horror. And in the future, we may do mature horror games, or we may do something that's more psychological or action-driven or story-based, like a Sally Face type game, or it could be a Little Nightmares type game. You know, we eventually want to take a stab at everything, so as long as we're not broke and we can keep making games, we'll keep doing that, but we're always going to make a horror game. Let's see. Vanderlei threw in $2. Thank you very much, Vanderlei. Will you play and showcase fan games in the future? I could if there's some really strong ones that people want to see. I still have my Glowstick Vents channel. I know I've been unintentionally neglecting that channel for a couple months now, simply because I'm working on games, so I don't have time to stream. I did do a stream a couple weeks ago, and I'll probably do another one pretty soon. But yeah, I would like to do more Monsters and Mortals streams, especially after Silent Hill goes out. That'd be really awesome. Maybe I'll get some YouTubers in on that. So if you're a YouTuber and you want to get on in that, you know, shoot me a message and let me know. And also, yeah, I would like to play some fan games. And I would like to play through Dark Deception. Eventually, I'm going to do a Dark Deception stream. So that's all possible. Another £2 from Indieverse, or Indie Universe. Thank you, Indie. He's made multiple contributions. I appreciate that. What is the next plush after Beerus? So the next plush after Beerus, as far as I know, and this is not guaranteed, it could change, but it's the Reaper Nurse, since Beerus and Malik are coming out at the same time. So after Beerus and Malik, it's going to be Reaper Nurse or something else, but as far as I know for the moment, it's Reaper Nurse. Let's see, where were we? Joe Young threw in $1.99. Thank you, Joe. Another contribution. That's multiple for you as well. Any screen distortion effects in Dark Deception? Yeah, we have some screen distortion effects for certain events. You'll see that when you get to them. $2 from Jason. Thank you, Jason. Could the mall end up being the biggest level? The mall in Chapter 5 is pretty big. I haven't really measured it up against other levels to see if it's the biggest, but it's definitely in the running. I mean, it would really only be compared to Theme Park at this point, because Theme Park's the biggest level in Chapter 4. Well, is it? Yeah, it is. I think Mama Bear's level comes pretty close, though. So, yeah, it's definitely among the biggest. I'll just put it that way for now. Layla and Iparem threw in $1.99. I think that's just a donation, so thank you very much. Appreciate it. That's multiple by Layla and Iparem, so thank you. UBF13 threw in another 2. That's multiple for them as well. Why is the Matron so dirty? Well, Matron does some dirty work. We'll just put it that way. She's not going to stay clean given what she does. Vanderlei threw in another 2 rows. Thank you, Vanderlei, for your multiple contributions. Will Eminem have a PT reference Easter egg? Yeah, so our Silent Hill DLC will have some Easter eggs in it, and we'll see how many of our eagle-eyed players are able to catch them. There'll be Easter eggs from Silent Hill and our game in there. So see if you can find them all. Emily threw in €2. Thank you, Emily. And again, that's just a donation, so that's like 3 donations, I think. Thank you very much. Jorgen Dahl threw in 22 kroner. And okay. Is that kroner? I forget, but that's currency. What games do you play on the Nintendo Switch? So right now I'm playing Sally Face on Switch. I've played Alien Isolation on Switch because that's probably the best port of Alien Isolation. And of course I play the Nintendo games, you know, like Breath of the Wild, Mario All-Stars, all the Mario games. So, gotta play. I mean, if you have a Switch, you have to play the Nintendo games. And besides that, I play a lot of indie horror games. Like, I own both copies of the Coma on Switch. So if I'm not playing Mario games or Nintendo games, then I get into horror games, whatever the Switch has. I'm playing Sally Face on there right now, though. And I was eyeballing Hades, but that's one of those deep games that you kind of get sucked into. So I can't play that yet. I have to wait until I have some free time. Victor the Demon Devil threw in another £5. Thank you for your multiple contributions. Will Joykill be in the Chapter 4 trailer? Probably will hint at him, but I'm not going to reveal him. We want things to be a surprise, so bosses are definitely one of the things that we want to keep definitely an element and surprise of. I mean, we showed the Matron, but we've only shown what she looked like, and she's already been seen before. So the other bosses we're going to keep pretty tight lid on. EG Gaming 190 threw in 5. That's multiple for EG. Thank you, EG. How hard is it to S-rank Chapter 4 in your opinion? Gotta stretch for a minute. Sitting on this couch for a while. Also, how good are you at Dark Deception? And will Malik still talk to us before the boss fight? Also looking fresh. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Well, Chapter 4 is very hard to S-rank, but it's doable. It may take some tries for most people. It's definitely going to be hard to S-rank it in your first go. Let's just put it that way. How good am I at Dark Deception? I don't have S-rank on every level yet. I mean, I've S-ranked every level at least once just to show that it was possible to do. But on my actual gameplay file, I haven't been able to reproduce that for some levels. So I'm still got to go back and get S-rank on everything so that on my personal save file I can have, you know, the best ending by the end. But I haven't been able to do that because I'm too busy testing our builds in Unreal and developing the game. So I'll get to that eventually. That's why I want to do it on Glowstick Vince's channel so that I can actually use that as an excuse to go through it again. And will Malik still talk to us before the boss fight? It depends on the level. We'll see. District D threw in 40 rubles. Thank you, District. And Let's see. We got Unicat Ninjas threw in 5. Thank you, Unicat. Also, maybe you've gotten this joke before, but if you die in Monsters Immortals, are you Vince Dyings? Oh man, I need a drum beat for that. Oh man, I love puns. I could be, yeah. Vince Dyings. And when I respawn, I'm Vince Livings again. UBF 13 threw in 5. When are you going to update the Chapter 4 page with more teaser pics and the coming in March date? Well, since I think most of our picks are spoilers, and I want to get the trailer out first, I'll probably update the store page once we have the trailer launched, which will probably be, you know, like a few days to a week before the game goes out. I will update as we go with some screenshots that aren't spoilery, but like it's not going to have like the hospital screenshots up immediately. Probably Mama Bear and the theme park level can have some updated screenshots, but yeah, we'll kind of get to that as we go. Our focus first is just to get the game done, but we're not worried about the store page at the moment. But yeah, it will be updated. We've got another one from, I'm sorry, we got one from Redstone Retriever, threw in $2. Thank you. What is Joy Kill's favorite food? I don't think he needs, well, probably Mortals. Doug. It will be. If you don't have high skill level and you die, it's gonna be Doug. UBF 13 threw in 5. Have you revealed the boss names for Tormund Therapy and Mascot Mayhem? Can you give us the name of the boss for Barely Buried? I understand if you can't answer. Well, I mean, I've given you the boss name for Tormund Therapy. It's the Matron. And I've given it for Mascot Mayhem as well. It's Joykill. But for Barely Buried, I'm not really sharing that one. That'll be a surprise. So you'll see for that one. But hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Tyler S. Dash threw in another 2. Thank you, Tyler. Are the Joy Joy Gang truly animatronics or Terminators? Well, I mean, one of the inspirations used was Terminator, but they are, they're kind of a blend of both, I guess, because animatronics have very thin, their endoskeleton or their exoskeletons or their kind of architecture underneath is kind of flimsy. In real life, I'm not talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. In real life, if you ever seen one of the Chucky Cheese or Showbiz Pizza or Disney World animatronics kind of had their suit peeled off, you know, it looks like one of those Science Erector sets. It's not like a solid mech or anything like that. So I definitely side more with Terminator because I just think structurally they're more intimidating and more powerful. So I think that's why I was more inspired by that than actual real-life animatronics. Pretzel Boy Productions threw in Canadian $1. Thank you. That's just a donation, so thanks a lot. Blood Violet threw in 5. Thank you, Blood Violet. Nice to see you back again. Why reveal all the frenzy modes except the Reaper nurses? And why is Matron the only revealed boss? Just because we randomly decided to do it that way. No rhyme or reason. It's just those were the things we were comfortable showing that we didn't feel would spoil the chapter for everybody. Oh, I would say those are not the big surprises. Let's put it that way. Hyper Orange threw in $1.99 again. Thank you very much for your multiple contributions. Was Malik in Joy Joy Land in the screenshot? Oh, you're talking about the one on Instagram. That I can't say because that would be a spoiler revealing where that was located. So you'll see for that one. Watch or play Chapter 4 and you'll find out. Luigi threw in another 5. Thank you for your multiple contributions. Will Mama Bear get mad at her babies if they fail to catch Doug? Mama loves her babies. She'll never get mad at them. More likely she'll get mad at you for bothering her babies. Good mother never blames her children. Let's just put it that way. Okay, we got a €1 contribution from Barrage87, and that's just a donation. So thank you, Barrage. Appreciate it. UBF13 threw in another 2. Will there be a spider enemy in Chapter 5? No. No spider enemy. Blood Violet threw in another 5. Why is Matron theme called Patient Transfer? And is she sadistic compared to Lucky? Matron theme is called Patient Transfer. Well, that's kind of a spoiler if I explain why, but you'll see. I guess it kind of relates to hospitals and how they move patients around within the hospital and outside of it. So it kind of relates to that. And Matron, no, she's not sadistic. She's just very brutal. We'll put it that way. Joe Young threw in $1.99. Another one, and that's multiple contributions. Thank you again. Any VR exclusive content for Dark Deception? Well, we don't have a VR version of Dark Deception yet, and that'll probably be something that comes at the end after we've done all the other platforms like mobile and console. So at that point, we won't have a lot on our plates, so maybe we could do something exclusive VR. I mean, we could say the same thing for the consoles. I remember back when Soul Calibur had exclusive stuff for each console version that they put out. So we have to see what we have time for, basically. And it all boils down to what we have time for. Oh, Suga threw in $2. Thank you, Suga. Hi, Vince. How would you describe Glowstick Vince? Myself. He's just a developer that got thrown into a bad situation. We'll put it that way. Jacko Trap Studios threw in 5. Thank you, Jacko Trap. That's multiple from you. I have been waiting for 3 indie horror games since 2019. Security Breach, Bendy, and The Dark Revival, and DD Chapter 4. Well, then 2021 is going to be a great year for you because all 3 are coming out this year. I mean, I can't speak for Bendy or Security Breach, but Chapter 4 is definitely coming out in March. And I think Bendy the Dark Revival is not too far out after that. And I'm pretty sure Security Breach will launch in 2021 since they've been showing multiple trailers for it. It'd be really weird if it didn't. But, you know, stuff can always go wrong. But I'm pretty sure all 3 will be out in 2021. Which is be awesome for indie horror fans. Blood Violet threw in another 5. Thank you. Does Tormund Therapy have themes of religion in level design, like I hear religious chanting in the OSTs for hospital levels, so it makes me wonder. Well, I mean, you could say that Dark Deception has kind of religious overtones just in the fact that it's a hell. So there will be some themes in Tormund Therapy that could be associated with religion, but it's not really something we're focused on. Really, there's other themes at play that are tormenting Doug than religion. That's not really his thing. Doug's torment is from his mistakes and his sins. Even that word alone, sin, has a religious connection. But we can just chalk it up to the poor choices he made in life that are coming back to haunt him. £5 from Chunk Plunk. Thank you. That's multiple from Chunk. Are you going to get Super Mario 3? Are you going to get Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury when it comes out? Yes, eventually. I am going to get that. It looks pretty awesome, but I still have to get through the new Mario All-Stars. I haven't played all of those yet. So, I've got quite a backlog of games to get through that's constantly growing. Like, every time an awesome game comes out, I'm too busy working, so I can't play everything. So, I mean, I've had to go back and, like, finally get to play Doom Eternal. It took me a while. Like, it's discounted now. It's in the bargain bin. I bought it and never got to play it. It sat there kind of collecting dust for a while. And that's where a lot of my games are. So I've got a lot of games to get through whenever I kind of get a moment of free time. Obviously, I think that'll be after I get the Silent Hill DLC and Evil Nun and Chapter 4 out and Chapter 5. So it's going to be a little while. Blood Violet through another 5. Thank you, Blood Violet. Can Mama Bear break through doors or objects like Hangry? Well, if you've been looking at the screenshots of Barely Buried, there are not a lot of doors. In fact, a lot of the level is in, as you've seen in the screenshots, it's a underground cavern. So she has a very different ability that you'll see once you reach that part that's unique to her. So she's not like Hangry because the enemies don't share the same abilities. Okay, Hyper Orange through in 5. Thank you, Hyper Orange. Will there be a voice reveal video for Joykill or Matron? No, there will not be any more voice reveals. So everything from this point on will be revealed in the Chapter 4 release. I think, is that it? Well, I got one more here, but it's kind of weird. YouTube's clipping it off. I can't see it. Ah, there we go. Oh, that's weird. Well, we have a donation from Leland Parem, or Leilani Parem. I can't see exactly what the donation is. Oh, somebody donated, now it moved up. It's weird, it's clipping that last one. Well, okay. So it's just a donation. It's $1.95 from Leilani Parem. So thank you very much. That's multiple from you. I appreciate your support. Sorry, that was kind of weird with it being clipped. I couldn't read it to you. Rooney Nico threw in another 2. Can the Joy Joy gang open doors? Well, Hangry prefers to smash through doors. But yeah, Penny and Lucky can both open doors. And Unicat Ninja S threw in another 10. Wow, thank you. That's very generous. There's not ever a stadium level, right? Because it's an idea I have for a fan game and I don't want to copy. Also, choreo will be on my Twitter, not on YouTube. Admit Lucky is a person costume. Frenzy has human teeth. Oh, you want me to admit Lucky is a person with a costume because the Frenzy has human teeth? No. Lucky is a machine, an animatronic. So he doesn't have. It's not a human in a costume. I promise you. I swear. They're all animatronic machines at this point, robots. But no, there's not going to be any stadium levels. We don't have that in Dark Deception. So if you want to do a Dark Deception fan game in a stadium, you are safe to do that. Go for it. I would love to see it. And we have one more from Blood Violet for $2. Thank you, Blood Violet. Do the clones appear in all 3 stages in the Joy Joy Gang level? That one is definitely a you'll see. Once you get to the level, you'll see where they play into the gameplay and story for that level. And who are the clones of? That's another question I always get. Spring X Blade threw in 2 Canadian. Is Patient Transfer boss and escape theme? I've already mentioned earlier, but Patient Transfer is the boss theme. So no, it's just the boss theme. All right, that's for our super chats. Now we're going to go to the subscriber questions. And if there are any super chats that come in between now and then, I'll go back to them. So our subscriber questions are... We're going to kick it off with Rye Guy. Which skin from Monsters and Immortals was your favorite to make? I have to remember what all the skins were. I think the one I enjoyed a lot actually was made by Penn, and it was the military uniform on the monkey. I just thought that was kind of funny, so I enjoyed making that. That's probably the one I enjoyed the most. Indie horror fan number 2. Do you plan on making all the Monsters and Mortals maps available in every game mode, or will there be unique game modes that only occur on specific maps? Yeah, so my goal is basically to make the game modes work for all maps. Now, eventually, I want to put in some new game modes that have maps that are specific to them. That will allow us to add some more interesting, or not more interesting, but varied gameplay. Some things that the current maps will never support. We can have maps that support that and are specifically just for that game mode. So that's one thing that we'll kind of address in 2021, and I'll add to it. Is that there will be some maps that are specifically for one type of game mode, and they're only playable that way. Those will only be in the base game, though. So all the maps that are in DLCs will be kind of like the generalized maps that work with all of the game modes. Well, most of them. So yeah, the Silent Hill DLC, just like the Monstrum one, will work with all game modes. Let's see. Question number 3 from Sea Tiger Gaming. In Monsters and Mortals, will the Joy Joy Gang be in Frenzy mode or the normal mode when they are playable? We'll probably have that separated as skins, so by default you'll get the normal mode, and then you can unlock in the store their Frenzy mode and use that if you want. Kind of like we did with the others with their Frenzy Nightmare mode. Question number 4 from AK8. In Monsters and Mortals, will the Trigger Teddy be smaller than the Clown Gremlin when they are playable? Yeah, so even in Dark Deception, the Trigger Teddy is smaller than the Clown Gremlin. Question number 5 from Grandom Rye. If Monsters and Mortals were to have a crossover with the Danganronpa franchise, which characters would you consider for the DLCs for Mortals and the monster side? Danganronpa. Yeah, I played Danganronpa. That's a really fun game. It would definitely, could possibly fit. I don't know. I'd have to look and see what other environments they have because we can't do another school. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to remember all their names. I mean, the bear, you would definitely have him as the monster. And then some of the characters from... I'm trying to remember the name of the protagonist from like the first and second games. It's been a while. That game's pretty old now. It's been a while since I played that. But yeah, I think it would work. I mean, we would make it work if we wanted to put that in. But actually, you're not the first person to ask that, so it seems like it has a pretty loyal fan following behind it. So we'll look into that at some point. Question number 6 from Warren. Are there any toys coming? I would like to get my hands on a Lucky the Rabbit figure. So by toys, I'm guessing you mean the vinyl toys, or like action figures. So that's been something we've been wanting to do for a while. I know some of you have seen me always kind of fishing to Funko Pop to try to get the Funko Pops. So I'll keep trying. I mean, I want to see Dark Deception Funko Pops at some point. Seems like everything has a Funko Pop. Even some really, really random stuff. So I think it's just a matter of time. If Chapter 4 does well and the Monsters and Mortals do well, then I'm pretty sure at some point in 2021 we're going to get a Dark Deception Funko Pop finally. Or maybe a U2's. I saw U2's is doing pretty well recently. So, yeah, I mean, really, they listen to the fans. So if a lot of our fans keep bothering them, saying, where's this Dark Deception Funko Pop? Where's the Dark Deception U2's? Then I think at some point they'll reach out to us. So that I think that's really up to you guys. Definitely go bang on their door and let them know that that's something we all want. Let me see. Question number 7 from Luca. Will you be able to play as Victor, Edgar, and other unknown characters in Monsters and Mortals? I think it would be cool to see what they look like in the game. That's a possibility, actually. For those that are unfamiliar, Victor and Edgar are in Beerus's Diaries. So if you unlock Beerus's Diaries, you'll hear a little bit of the backstory of Beerus and how she came to be in the ballroom. And Victor and Edgar are characters from that. I'm not going to tell what they are or what they do, because there's a lot of people here potentially who haven't played through Dark Deception yet. Like maybe they've just played Chapter 1 and they haven't played Chapter 2 and 3 yet. So I'm not going to spoil that. But they have a role in Beerus' past. Kind of a weird, interesting role. So kind of like I brought back Detective Evans, who was the original protagonist of the old Dark Deception from 2014. We could eventually add them as playable characters. That would be kind of cool. So we could see Edgar and we could see what Victor looks like. So yeah, that's something that's possible. Question number 8 from Bright Diamond. Oh, it's another, okay. It's another one about Dan. So it's asking, hey, how is Dan doing? Is he okay at the moment? I just want to wish him the best. So we answered that one. Dan's doing great. His family's recovering, and he's back to work. So if that's not a sign of his health, then nothing is. He's cranking out the awesome music again. So we'll just hope for that there's not any long-term damage to him, and that he can get the vaccine and be good, just like everybody else in the world. Number 9, Pyro Shark. Will Evil Nun come to consoles? Yes, if it does well on PC, it will come to consoles. That is our plan. And that's something that will work out with Keplerians in the event that that day arrives. We'll see. Question number 10 from Castform TV. Any news on the plushies? When is the next one? So, yeah, as I was mentioning earlier, that there's a plushie plan for 2021. 12 plushies, Beerus and, I'm going to point to the right side one of these times. I keep looking at the screen. Beerus and Malik are the first 2, and then potentially Reaper Nurse is the third. I can't say for sure, so don't wait for Reaper Nurse and expect it to be third, because I don't know if it will be third. It may be 4th, 5th, or 6th. I'm just going off what the last bit of info I got from Makeship was. But Beerus and Malik are definitely going to be in February, probably early February. Question number 11 from Amir. Will you make a Resident Evil DLC and Outlast DLC for Monsters and Mortals? I hope so. I love Resident Evil and I love Outlast. Interesting news about Capcom. So, depending on how well the Silent Hill DLC does, Capcom might be interested. Obviously, that's not a guarantee or anything, but a lot of things with Capcom and companies like that are based on performance. So, there's been a few companies that have kind of expressed that sentiment to us. They're going to wait and see how Silent Hill does. If the Silent Hill DLC does well, then some other doors may open. And if Silent Hill DLC does badly, those doors may close. I don't know. This is just kind of like the quick take I've gotten from a couple of these companies. And it's not just Capcom. There's a couple others as well that are also very popular that have given me kind of the same feedback. So there's a lot riding on Silent Hill other than making a great Silent Hill DLC and not getting the entire Silent Hill fan base pissed off at me for the next 30 years. We're going to do my best because I want to see Pyramid Head versus Mr. X. That's something I want to see. And I know you guys all want to see it too. And there's other characters that I would like to see in just as much as Resident Evil characters. So this is kind of like the first step. You know, if we do it right, then anything's possible. If we mess it up, then probably not. So we have a lot riding on it. We'll see how it goes, but we're definitely putting our full effort into it. Let's see, number 12 from Jerd Pie. Will Chapter 4 development resume right after the release of the upcoming Silent Hill Monsters and Mortals DLC? It's not paused, so we're working on both. It's just that working on Silent Hill takes a bit of our resources away from Chapter 4 for a period of time while we're working on it. But Chapter 4 is still going. There's no way we'd be able to get it out in March if we didn't do it that way. So they're both getting completed at the same time. It's just we're focusing a larger portion of our resources on Silent Hill right now to get it out quickly in February. So don't worry, it's not paused. 13, Joy Joy Lucky. Hey Vince, Hope you are doing well. I was wondering if you have heard of the game At the Dead of Night. And if so, if the devs have ever wanted to collab with you for Monsters and Immortals. I'm sorry, misread that. If so, if the devs ever wanted to collab with you for Monsters and Immortals, would you be up for it? Actually, I haven't seen At the Dead of Night yet. So I saw Super Horror Bro and a couple of the other YouTubers that I know have done videos about it, but I haven't had a chance to watch through them yet. I know that it's a mix of live action and 3D, and it's in a hotel. It looks pretty cool. But I haven't had a chance to take a look at it, like an in-depth look at it, to see if it would fit in Monsters and Immortals. So, I mean, if it had a good following and it looked like something that we could fit into Monsters and Immortals, or if it looked like one of those hidden gem games that I feel like it needs more attention, deserves more attention, then yeah, that's something we could look at. I can't say for now because I really haven't seen it yet, so I have to take a look first. I assume it's a good game because so many people have mentioned it to me. Where was I? Okay, 14 from Braden. What kind of clothes do the mannequins wear? Haha. Okay, clever. I keep getting that one. They try to find out what the mannequins are wearing to get a better idea what they look like. So, I guess you could say maybe the mannequins are wearing clothes, or maybe they're not wearing clothes. I don't know. It's something that I'll get to once we get to Chapter 5. It's too soon to discuss the mannequins because we're not through Chapter 4 yet. So you'll see on that one. Just sit tight. We'll get to it. Question number 15 from Boy Munchlings. Do you plan on making a non-horror project after you're completely done with Dark Deception? Didn't we? We had one like that, right? Yeah, we did. Probably not, just because our focus is on horror. I will definitely make a different type of horror game. Question number 16 from Johnny Games. How much game... Oops, I gotta translate this one a little bit. Oh, how much do game developers need to pay voice actors to use their voices for characters? And who is the highest paid voice actor that you hired? Is it Carolyn Seymour, Christopher Corey Smith, Kat Cressida, Christy Alex, or Tara Strong? Well, as is the nature of business, we have NDA agreements with all of them, so we're not allowed to discuss their paychecks. Generally, all of these actors are union actors, which means that they are covered and represented under the Screen Actors Guild, which is also known as SAG, S-A-G. So they are all represented by the Screen Actors Guild. They are all members of that, so we pay the Screen Actors Guild rates. So if you'd like to know more about voice actor pricing, if that's something that you're interested in, or maybe you want to become a voice actor, you can find a lot of that information online, or you can go directly to the Screen Actor Guild's website. And they have a lot of information there that you can look into. But I would say that all of our actors that we used are pretty much top actors in the game industry, so they are all paid pretty well. And that is why the voice acting is so good. You get what you pay for, right? So it's not cheap to get amazing voices into a game, but it's definitely worth it. I believe voice acting and music are two of the most important things in a game. And it's been a pleasure working with all of them. They're all extremely talented. Let me see. Anthony asks... Sorry, I gotta translate this one a little bit too. Okay, sorry. Done now. So he says, I'm really excited for Chapter 4 and Evil Nun, The Broken Mask. Also, I would like to know if Monsters and Immortals is going to be in the consoles. So yeah, Monsters and Immortals, we are looking at bringing it to consoles, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, and Xbox One. First, we're going to try to get more DLCs out for the PC version on Steam, and get that one to a better place with the matchmaking. So we want to get it more stable and improve it and get a lot of modes in. And after that, then we'll start to look at the console version because it's a lot harder to update on consoles. It takes a lot more time. On PC, it's pretty instant. We just submit the build, push it, and it's out. But in consoles, you have to go through a submission process with Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, and that can take up to a month. So it's a very slow update process on consoles. So we really want to make sure it's in a good place before we port it. Let me see. Okay, number 18, Windows 98. In the Chapter 4 Teaser 1 video, when it shows Mascot Mayhem, who is that shadowy figure chasing the player? That's a good question. I can say it's... other people have guessed that it's the Joy Joy gang. I can't say if that's true or which member it is, but that's plausible. There's definitely somebody chasing Doug in that clip. But because of the fog, you can't really see exactly who it is at that moment in time. So wait for Chapter 4, you'll find out. I can't reveal it at this time. Let me see. Silver Sheep, question 19. Will there be a Chucky DLC for Monsters and Mortals? Probably not, just because our focus with Monsters and Mortals is to concentrate on horror games, not horror movies. So I think horror movies is Dead by Daylight's domain. That's kind of what they do. They license out the horror movies like Freddy Krueger and Halloween with Michael Myers. They don't have Chucky, but they have some other stuff too. I know they did get Silent Hill, but Silent Hill had a movie, so that technically that qualifies as a movie too. So, yeah, that's Dead by Daylight's approach. I'm going to leave that to them. We're focusing on horror games. We want to celebrate AAA games and indie games in the horror genre, and that's who we're going to bring in to our game. We're going to focus on that. Question 19, no, 20, Pug in the Mug. What Chapter 4 character was the hardest to model or texture? The hardest to model or texture would probably be... it'd probably be one of the bosses. I'd say Joykill, just because he has a very complex form and a lot of different materials. So, yeah, Joykill was probably the most time-consuming. And the last one from Scorpion, number 21. In your Discord post, you said Monsters and Mortals Chapter 4 stuff will be added in the months following Chapter 4's release on Steam. No rush, but can you give us a more specific time? Essentially an estimate of when you guys would like Chapter 4 stuff to be in Monsters and Mortals. I think that's kind of similar to the one that we got in the Super Chats. We don't have a specific timeline. I can't give an exact date, just that it'll be in after Chapter 4. So definitely probably between April and June, as I said. Maybe even slipping into July. But we'll get it all, don't worry. And that's it for all of the subscriber questions. And now I'm just going to take a quick look at our Super Chat, see if there's any that I missed. Let me see. 1 second. Oh yeah, we do have a few. Okay, so I'll just finish these off, and then that'll be a wrap for episode 11. Okay, we'll start with Dread Ducky, 102. Threw in $2. Thank you, Dread Ducky. Does Lucky start the self-destruct sequence? No, he does not. I can't tell you who does, but it's not Lucky. Jacko Trap Studios threw in $2. Do you like meme deception? I don't know which one exactly you're referring to. I've seen meme deception by Angelo Plays, and that one's usually pretty hilarious. I think he does pretty awesome work on that. So I always enjoy those. So if that's the one you're talking about, then yes, I've seen them. Although I don't remember when the last one was. I think it was a couple months ago. Maybe longer. Something like that. Okay, Blood Violet threw in another 2. Thank you again, Blood Violet. Chapter 5 in 2021. That's the plan. I definitely want to get Dark Deception completely done in 2021. So yeah, that's what we're shooting for. That's what we're working for. Chapter 4 goes out in March. That gives us, 9 months. I think that's pretty doable. I think we can get Chapter 5 out in 9 months. We already have a good chunk of it done. So I want to wrap Dark Deception up in 2021. We're going to do everything we can to make that happen. Rooney Nico threw in $2, or another £2, sorry. Spoiler, the final boss are the impatient fans. Oh no, you're leaking it. Yes, it's going to be an amalgamation of all of our fan base into one giant monstrosity. No, it won't be. Unicat Ninjas threw in another 5. Thank you again. FYI, closer to March, when March, I'm going to start posting my Bad Rabbit choreo on Twitter. I couldn't not dance to it. Eventually, it'll be put together on YouTube. Well, you got lots of plans. All right. Well, since you put in super chats and you've pretty much announced all this, now you got to go through with it. I don't want it to be a super chat that you forget about. So you definitely have to make this happen now. I'm going to make our fan base go check it out when it's done and hold you to it. But yeah, Bad Rabbit choreos are awesome. I hope I see some more. And if you want to kick that off, go for it. Popcorn with Exotic Butters threw in 2. Thank you very much. And YouTube jumps it right as I'm reading it. Dark Deception for life. Awesome. Thank you very much for your donation. Hyper Orange threw in 2 also. Hashtag flip reset. UBF13 threw in 2 also. Can we have a new Reaper Nurse voice line? Yeah, in Chapter 4 when it releases. You get all the Reaper Nurse voice lines. But prior to that, I can't show any more, no. Gotta leave some surprises. Comaniac Plays threw in $5. How much will the Broken Mask be when it releases? Well, actually, as far as the pricing for Evil Nun, we haven't actually finalized that yet. I think it's going to be, it's going to be cheaper than Dark Deception. Or, well, I shouldn't say that. I feel like it's going to be either the $15 or $20 price point because the game is pretty big now. At first, when we were first taking on Evil Nun, we thought it was going to be a cheap game because we thought it was going to be kind of a short game that was just replayable. But now it's actually a pretty big game, so it definitely warrants kind of a normal indie price tag. Plus, we put a lot of work into the visuals, so yeah, I would bet on it being in that price range between $15 $20 US. Chunk Plong threw another £5. Thank you, Chunk. Does every enemy in Chapter 4 have their own unique death animation? Yeah. You could say that, yeah. They all have their own unique animation for dying. I don't know if you're talking about when you kill them or when they kill you. Actually, that applies to both. Unicat Ninjas threw in another 10. Wow, you're on a roll. Thank you for your generosity today. I think that's the second most super chat donations we've gotten outside of Fusion Z's big donation from the charity drive. Says, okay, I'll be done after this. I usually skip past secrets in video game or in gameplay videos, but the one time I didn't in Stranger Sewers, there was something about using Zoloft to treat bipolar, which actually doesn't work. Okay, yeah, I think she's talking about the note from Tammy. So obviously Tammy's therapist wasn't very good. It was the 80s. They weren't as knowledgeable about mental illness back then. So, yeah, I mean, they used to treat all ADD kids with Ritalin right away back in those days. So I think that fits pretty well. You're probably right. Popcorn with exotic butters through and two. Will there be Papa Bear? Papa Bear. Oh, you're talking about for Barely Buried. No, there will not be a Papa Bear. I know some people have theorized on that. But there will be something. I know you're fishing for the boss. There will be something. And the last one, Victor the Demon Devil threw in £5. I like your game so much, I wish I can make my own. Well, don't wish. Pick up a book, watch a tutorial. It's never too late to start. You know, there's so many engines now that are either free or very cheap to work with. Just start making a game. Make somebody else's game that already exists. There's a lot of code floating around. Grab a game that already exists, throw the code in, and just alter it a little bit and make it your own and kind of go from there. Like, it's never too late to start. Make your own game. Even if it's crappy. Everyone's first game is crappy. It's not good, but it's like it's a stepping stone. You learn something from it. And eventually you'll get to the point where you're making good games. And maybe you'll even be able to make them by yourself if you teach yourself to code. So yeah, never get discouraged by not knowing how to do something. I mean, when I started Glowstick Entertainment, I didn't know anything about business or how to make a game in its entirety. When I work for other companies, they put me in the art department, and that's literally the only thing I see. So I didn't know exactly how to set everything up to make a game. It's something you learn as you go. So that's the one advice I'll give everybody, is never let not knowing how to do something stop you from doing it. You can figure it out as you go. Some people might call that winging it, but unless you get moving and get started, it never happens. You'll always have an excuse why you can't do it. You'll say, I don't know how to do it, or you won't have confidence to do it. Like, who cares if you fail? You know, who cares if it sucks? Just do it. And then you may find out that you're more capable than you know you are. Oh, somebody snuck in another one while I was going on that spiel. Luigi. But he threw in another donation, and he's done no multiple today, so thank you very much. Another 5. Smash Brothers and Dark Deception. The best crossover, and you know it. Yeah, but I think that would be more like we go into their game. I don't think Nintendo's ever going to give us anything from Smash Brothers to go into Monsters and Immortals. But hey, if I could ever get anything from Nintendo, I don't even know what that would be. Maybe Luigi's Mansion? Yeah, I'd have to look through that. I've never actually looked at Nintendo for what could be in Monsters and Immortals. I know I've looked at Sega and a couple others, but not Nintendo. Maybe some fans want to throw me some suggestions later on. But that's it. That's the end of the episode. End of Super Chats. So thank you all. This has been a long one. Is that 2 hours? No, actually, that's pretty in line with our other episodes. So yeah, thank you all for showing up and watching this. You guys had some great questions. I really enjoyed answering them for you. It's like 3 a.m. here, so I may be a bit spacey at times. Just kind of give me a pass on that. But yeah, I'm really excited for what we have coming up. I know everybody's excited for Chapter 4. I'm sorry we had to push it off for the Silent Hill DLC, but that was too good to pass up on. So I appreciate everyone that was supportive to us before they knew it was the Silent Hill DLC. We did get a lot of backlash from a small group of our fans about that. Some of them crossed the line, which was not so great. I mean, I've kind of pointed out what happened with that, but we had a ton of fans that were supportive and understanding, even if they weren't. You know, even if they were upset, they still were there for us, and that matters a lot to us. That they support us even when they don't want to. You know, they're probably just as mad as everyone else when these things happen, because delays suck. You know, everybody wants it sooner and faster, but that's not always a good thing. Look at Cyberpunk. What happened when they gave in to the pressure from fans? I mean, obviously they needed a lot more time than even if they had taken their time, it probably would have been like another 6 months which I don't think that fan base would have given them. And I'm not saying we would take that long. I'm just saying if we delay something, it's usually for a good reason. We don't like delays either. We want to get things over with so we can get on to the next thing. But we don't want to rush things out and have crappy quality. And we don't want to rush things out and have broken gameplay or game-breaking bugs. I mean, we kind of rushed Chapter 3 out a little bit, and one of the levels disappeared and was unplayable for a little while before we fixed it. So we're trying to avoid another situation like that. So yeah, remember, no matter what country you're from, no matter what language, culture you are, we're all part of the same community. We all want the same thing. We want a game that doesn't suck. And we want a game that's going to get, that we can be proud of, that other fan bases will respect. So that's what we're working for. And we want to grow our fan base. So we do stuff like Monsters and Mortals to bring in other fans and also allow us to experiment to improve Dark Deception. So yeah, that's my little two bits on that, just to address it, because I know a lot of people wanted me to address it. Yeah, just know that we don't take our fan base for granted. We do have the best intentions. Like, we will never delay something just because we're lazy or we want to screw over our fans. That's not how that works. It's always because we want to make the game better, or we have a rare opportunity that's good for the company in the long term. That's good for our fans. So thank you all again for your patience and understanding. And that'll be it. I'm signing off. Sorry guys, I can't talk anymore. I'm completely out. That coffee I drank today has been done for about a few hours. I'm gonna go crash. So you guys have a great day, no matter what part of the world you're in, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.